Hello, my name is Jim McGillivray and this is the Pipe Box, your source for all things piping. If you find this video useful, please give it a like and please subscribe to this YouTube channel to see more videos like this. Today I'd like to discuss the F doubling. But in discussing the F doubling, we're going to discuss doublings in general. So the principles that you learn here about the F doubling can be applied to all of your doublings. For example, the first thing that you can apply is the importance of the initial grace note in any doubling. Usually it's a G grace note. It's important that you be able to play that grace note accurately and on the beat. If you can't, you're going to have doubling problems. You may miss the doubling, you may get a crossing noise, or you may play it out of rhythm. Today we're going to spend some time learning how to play an F doubling that is accurate and on the beat. So, above my right shoulder you will see two bars of music. The first is the F doubling proper. The second shows the F doubling exploded, just two distinct G grace notes on F. The first bar is the F doubling proper, like this. Second bar is the slow motion F doubling, two distinct G grace notes. The F doubling is unique in that we use the same grace note twice to make that doubling. In all the rest of our doublings we use two different grace notes, and that adds its own complications. Here we just have to worry about one grace note twice. If you look at the bars above my shoulders again, you will see that I have added a couple of arrows. Those arrows show you precisely where the beat goes in the F doubling. Some people wonder, how can you actually say where the beat goes in a doubling because it happens so quickly? I can assure you it's an important point. And what we're going to do in the next two exercises that I'm going to give you is show you exactly how to make a first grace note that's accurate and exactly on the beat. Here's the first exercise. As I've said, and I'll say again, the G grace note in any doubling is the most important. This exercise allows you to practice the G grace note on its own and then practice it again within the doubling. The goal is to make the G grace note accurately and on the beat, and to make it the same both times, whether it's by itself or in the doubling. Let's talk about what it means to play a grace note accurately on the note. If I were to play a G grace note from E up to F, in order to play that accurately, the G and the F fingers leave the chanter at the same time, exactly the same time, and then the G finger comes down. If I were to play a G grace note on F from low G, four fingers need to leave the chanter at the same time, and then the high G finger goes back. That's what it means to play a grace note on the note accurately. What does it mean to play a grace note on the beat? Very simply, when the grace note finger hits the chanter, your foot hits the floor. So in an F doubling, not. That's the common error that pipers make when they play a doubling, is they put the second grace note in the doubling on the beat instead of the first grace note. We have a natural tendency as we come to a doubling to rush into it. I don't know why, almost like we feel if we do it right away we'll have more time. In fact, you want to wait for the beat. Make sure that G finger hits the chanter when the foot hits the floor. Let's listen to that first exercise again and try to be very conscious of the accuracy of the grace notes and the rhythm. This exercise all by itself will make your doublings on F better. It's really important to be able to play a doubling from any note on the scale. You may have noticed in bar 7 that the F doubling takes a high A grace note rather than a high G grace note. Playing an F doubling from high G means that the first grace note has to be a high A. In here, the principle is a little bit different in that instead of fingers coming up at the same time, after you make the high A grace note, your fingers are going to hit the chanter at the same time. That's the high G F doubling. To play the doubling from high A, we play what we call a half doubling, because you cannot play a G grace note from high A. So we only play the second grace note when we play the F doubling from high A. All of the notes in this particular exercise are the same length. This isn't true in pipe tunes. One of the skills you need to be able to master is to be able to play a G grace note after a short note. And it stands to reason, an F doubling after a short note. So here is the same exercise as we did before, except that I've added some pointing to make it a little bit more tune-like. As with any exercise, play it as slowly as you need to in order to play it well. Speed is not important here. Control and rhythm are paramount as you try to play the doubling accurately and on the beat. I will cover all of the doublings on this channel, and in every single one of them I'll be stressing the principles of playing the first grace note on the beat and on the note. Keep it in mind with all your doublings. That's it for F doublings. From me, Jim McGillivray at the Pipe Box. Good piping.